Did Texas buy Andrew Mukuba? I mean, that's what everybody's alluding to. I'm going to talk about that. And I held off for the past day or so talking about this because there's a lot of bad moving parts there to even suggest that. So I'm going to try to tread lightly and with respect to all parties involved. Welcome to Clemson Football Live. I am Brian. Tomorrow is National Signing Day. I know it's early signing day, but we all know it's the new signing day. Yeah, you know it. I know it. Beginning tomorrow morning. I believe it's 7 a.m. So tomorrow will be a great day. If you're new here, I hope you subscribe. It's free and it's the easiest way to support the channel. So let's talk about Andrew Mukuba. He just completed his third season at Clemson. In his freshman season in 2021, the guy was a freshman All-American. He was unbelievable. Brent Venables started him against Georgia. If you go back to that season, he started against the Georgia Bulldogs. So that tells you how much faith and trust that Brent Venables, the OG, had in this freshman. Then last year happened, and I'm not talking about the season we just finished. I'm talking about 2022. Andrew Mukuba came out. He played through injuries. I think he even had a dislocated elbow at one time, which makes me cringe just thinking about it. But he went out and he played. He did, he did a good job. Maybe not as great as a lot of people thought he would, but let's just come back to the injuries. Who can blame him? And then this season, Mukuba did not have a terrible season, but I mean, come on, to be a first-team freshman All-American in your first season, you get the nod against Georgia in the very first game of the year. That's your first college football game. And then you played this season. There was times that you got burned. There was times that people wrestled the football down from you. There was times that, I mean, he didn't look terrible, but he didn't look dominant. And he definitely, I'm not knocking Mukuba because, by the way, I've been a big fan of his. Just like I've been a big fan of Bo Collins, but unfortunately, things didn't turn out well for Bo Collins this season. It's nothing personal. It's just statistically true. But Mukuba didn't seem like a guy that someone would go out and try to pay to get. I mean, this is not Travis Hunter, who's going to play on both sides of the ball. So I'm not knocking Andrew Mukuba. If he or his family were to see this, I wish you the best of luck. I'm not talking trash about you. This year just wasn't a great year for you. But in the Clemson community, we're all kind of leaning towards he's been purchased. NIL money got to him. A booster talked to his mom. I mean, all you have to do is just read some of the forums. And then you have to ask yourself, why would Texas go after him when this year he was not outrageously good? If this was him after his freshman season, I definitely get it. Well, let's go ahead and go through some of the facts. First of all, Andrew Mukuba played his football there in Austin, high school football in Austin, Texas. So he played there, and at one time, Texas was recruiting him, but this was during the Tom Herman days. I want to say this was also during the whole 2020 craziness that was going on. So between Texas not being a team that's in the college football playoff with guys like Quinn Ewers and Arch Manning and all these players on the team, it was just totally different. I'll spare you my crazy analogies, but my point is, it was a different Texas team, and he came to Clemson, and Brent Venables praised him. We all praised him. We all talked about how great he was. And I'm just going to say, I really don't know what has happened here, but to me, it makes sense that he would go home. If his mom is there, I've read articles where he talked about his mom. uh, you can't blame him for wanting to go home. Now, I'm looking at the comment section right now. Hey, Big John, it's good to see you, my friend. Silver Fox is in here. Stoopsified's in here. College football news. Let me see. A bunch of people are in here, and I appreciate the comments. I'm going to get to comments in just a second, but I just want to try to stay on topic because if any of you have watched me before, if I have the comment section on, I'll be doing this the whole time. I'll be like, blah, 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 which some of you will be like, yeah, that's no different than what you do when you are focusing. But my point is, I can't blame him for wanting to go home to his mom to probably play with teammates, be around people that he used to know. He hasn't seen them for a while. This season at Clemson was bad. I'm not going to criticize a guy for coming to Clemson and being shocked at just how poorly the team performed this year, and last year they were performing poorly. And in his freshman season, they performed poorly, and it's still better than what they've done as far as winning games and productivity than the past 2 years. I know you could argue and say last year, I know I'm chasing a rabbit here, but just trust me, I'm taking a rebuttal from someone right now. I can go ahead and hear it, read it, see it in my mind. Yes, they went to the Orange Bowl last year, but they didn't look that good. They really didn't. Poor coaching. But his freshman year, I don't know. I'm trying to give credit and to where credit's due. He played great his freshman year. But being on a winning team seems to mean a lot to him as well. Now, to address some of the questions that I'm seeing here, John's in here. And John's asked this question. Why did we know Mukuba was going to Texas before he announced in the portal? Yes, Mukuba was tampered with by Texas, in my opinion. Merry Christmas to you, John. He said, Merry Christmas. Hope you and your family's having a Merry Christmas, or will have a Merry Christmas. Hopefully everything's not crazy like it is right now. But let's talk about that. That is the 800-pound, gorilla in the corner. How did we know that he was going? Let's ask this question. How did we know that Riley Leonard was going to Notre Dame as soon as his name hit the 24/7 sports transfer portal? Like how? I mean, really, I'm not kidding here. Like Riley Leonard hits the portal, 10 minutes later, boom, 100% to Notre Dame. And he hadn't committed yet, and he ended up committing. People talk. First and foremost, people talk. And these sports outlets, they have people. I have absolutely no fingerprint or footprint in the college football community like the 24/7 Sports or On 3 or obviously ESPN. But I have told you that I had one of the, and I still won't call out the position. If hopefully I haven't called it out yet, but someone who worked with the team, their dad called me, reached out to me. We talked on the phone. And 2 years ago, the wide receivers were arguing over NIL. So if little old me, who started my YouTube channel in my bonus room, and I do videos when I have a break, if I know that stuff was happening, These people definitely know because they're paying people. They take care of people who are giving them information. And personally, I don't have a problem with that. I don't have a problem with someone saying, hey, if you get a tip, I'll make it worth your while if you'll let me know. That's one reason we know that guys like Riley Leonard are going. Okay. That's one. For Andrew Mukuba, I believe as soon as he hit the portal, probably he had told people before he even hit the portal, I want to go back home, and someone leaked it. That's the other thing. Now, I read somewhere that he has a child. I don't know if that's true. Does anybody know? Please put that in the comments section. I don't know. If he has a child and that child's living in Austin, Texas, folks, I would crawl on broken glass set on fire to get to my kids. So I mad respect there. But I would not be shocked if that's probably how this came out. Right? I would not be shocked if that's how it came out. Now let's talk about money. And I'm going to shut up. This is only going to be a 15-minute long video, and I'm at 11 minutes and 30 seconds. There's 36 of you in here. I hope you've subscribed. Whether you or I like it or not, paying players is the new ball game. It is. See, personally, I don't like going to a Clemson football game to pay $200 a ticket to sit up on the slab where I could fall off and kill myself and my family to see Clemson play football and they look like ants. I don't like that either, but if I want to see a decent game, that will be the price I have to pay per ticket. So I don't like that either. I don't like that coaches are being paid ungodly amounts of money with absolutely no incentive to perform. But as we know, they can. They can do it. You can go out and hire whoever you want to, and the university knows they're on the hook to fire you. So if I want to go down here to the local YMCA and pick up a coach and have him run my offensive line, I can. Because you'll have to pay me $62 million to go away. I don't like that. But my point in all of this, and my little rant there, is there's a lot of things we don't like, but it still happens. And Andrew Mukuba probably knows people that he used to play football against, maybe even played football with in high school. Maybe he knows some guys who were at these elite camps like he used to go to, and like all of these guys who are big-time high school football players, they go to these elite camps. He probably knows some people who is being paid via NIL. And he gets on Instagram or TikTok or whatever it may be that he uses, and he sees one of these people that he knows hugged up to some beautiful woman that, unless they were famous and had money, she wouldn't even wave at them. But they got them. Why? That's how the world works. And he's sitting there going, man, how did he bought his girlfriend a $3,000 pocketbook? How did he do that? It's called NIL. He knows how it happened. I'm not condemning or condoning. I'm just explaining to you what happens to these guys. And then Andrew clicks off of his phone, and what does he have to hold on to at Clemson? Just another lecture about culture. Just another saying that you could slap on the side of a coffee mug, like, I don't know, if Clemson's stock, I'm buying. Well, see, that doesn't buy Andrew anything. But his buddies that he used to go to camp with and he used to play against or maybe even played with, Money ain't a problem for them. Once again, you may not like it. I don't like it to a point. But that is what is driving the college football game, and everybody is doing it. And sure, just because everybody is doing whatever it may be doesn't make it right. But within the rules, everybody is doing it. We're not talking about killing old people at the 50-yard line here. We're talking about paying players via NIL. And the only team seemingly in the country who is not paying a lot of their players resides in Clemson, South Carolina. Also, the only team in the country who seemingly can't get a decent football player out of the transfer portal is in Clemson, South Carolina. Now, they can get a grad assistant who just happens to dress up as a football player to stand on the sidelines. They can get that. They can do that. And everywhere else, Georgia, Florida State, Alabama. I did a video last night that I actually showed you the numbers that if a team uses the transfer portal, it doesn't hurt their regular recruiting. And I showed that to you. I took my opinion out of it and I showed it to you. Clemson is the only team who cannot properly use the transfer portal as supplementary, not building the team, supplementary. For supplementary reasons, excuse me. Because it might hurt our culture. That's a good cop-out. I don't believe it. So, did they buy Andrew Mukuba? I don't know. But a lot of players are being bought, and this is nothing new. This has been happening for many, many years. Everybody thinks about SMU in the 80s. But now much more is going on that is actually allowed. So I'm going to leave it at that. I wish Andrew Mukuba and his family the very best. And I hope for Clemson that we are correcting the issues, which transparently does not deal with the transfer portal. It deals once again with inexperienced offensive coaches. Yes, we hired one offensive coach to come in who knows what he is doing. Everybody else except for Garrett Riley, from last I checked, is still inexperienced. I mean, except for this job they have now, that's our offense can't score because they have fumbleitis, but who cares? Who cares? We have the past 4 weeks, and suddenly we're happy to be 8-4. I'm going to leave that there. Folks, thank you so much for joining me. I see a lot of people in here. Thank you for joining me. John Seton. John Seton is a member of the Clemson Football Live. John, thanks for supporting Clemson Football Live on a monthly basis. You were like, how much does that cost? $3 per month. I know, even with gas prices through the roof, even with Christmas, even the inflation, it's only $3 per month. There's also $5 per month if you want to do that as well. But I do appreciate you, John, supporting the channel, and anyone else who has just been watching me. I do appreciate that. Y'all take care of yourself. Big day tomorrow. Early signing, which is the new signing day. Early signing. Opens up 7 a.m. tomorrow. Hopefully we have some good news in Clemson. Nobody decommits. Just ask Georgia. It's always good to be a Tiger. Go Tigers.